We're doing it.
We're doing it.
Today,
Oh, computer.
there's a long black train.
Can you turn the lights on in the studio, please?
That are lost in
Long neck bottle.
That's my impression of Josh Turner.
I had a feeling that would come up today. Oh
Why?
my God. Well, because it is something I saw on the interweb today. Let's see here. Miranda Lambert is.
Oh, I heard about this.
She is. Oh, poor girl. She's all upset because her patrons at her $300 a ticket show are. She's mad because they're taking photos and they're trying to capture a moment, and I think it is just so darn cute. That
Wait. You just said $300?
$300 a ticket, and
that is chump change compared to your queen.
Yeah, to compared to Mother. Yes. Speaking of Mother,
I don't even want to hear it.
oh my God. Well, okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and be like really quick right here, folks.
Do it.
This is our second attempt at recording this episode. And I am currently recording on the exact same file that we had realized after 40-something minutes that we had made a mistake. I made the mistake because I am the one in control of all of these things. Even though both of us looked at the computers several times and didn't even acknowledge
We were
it.
just like, lolly-da, whatever.
Yeah. So, and then we hit like 40-something minutes, and then I was like, oh my God. And Lars goes, what? And I said, your track hasn't been recording. So... welcome to our show. My name is Jared. My pronouns are he, him.
My name is Lars, and my pronouns are he, him.
And we are your host of...
Typically a Divergent podcast.
Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. We've been waiting for you. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. So we're gonna do our best to try to. That was really cute, by the way. We're gonna do our best to try and reenact all of our moments from the first attempt. And we'll
get you up to speed.
We'll get you up to speed. So this episode may be a little shorter than what last week's episode is, and it also may be a little shorter than what we had expected, just because it's hard to recreate something that's genuine like that. And that this incident happened yesterday. Today is Friday. And it was just like Lars had to go to work that evening, and so we were already like concerned about timing. And then boom, the incident happened, and I said, well, we can kind of just stop right now. There's no point in doing anything else. And so can you come back tomorrow? Lars gracefully said, yeah, I can do that, buddy.
That's
so
okay.
Part 2.
It's no big deal. It ain't anything but a chicken wing.
Ain't anything but a chicken wing.
I went to work, and I told some of the people that I work with about what happened, and they're just like, oh no, are you going to be able to get it out on time on Monday? And I was like, yeah, bruh.
Yeah, don't worry.
Isn't that sweet?
That is so cute. Yes.
Because I have got my coworkers involved in listening to my podcast, which is kind of like shooting myself in the foot.
No, it's not.
But
have they said anything bad about what you were talking about?
No,
so far?
But I mean, like, they're
go.
going to hear things that are going to be uncomfortable for them to hear. And then they're going to have to come to work and listen to me.
Yeah. So, well, you know, I always think about, like, when things get a little naughty on the show, I think about my Mama Terry, and then I'm just like, just real quick, hey, Mama Terry, so sorry. Well, gotta go to work and just say what I'm going to say anyway. God love her. She never brings anything like that up. And so I really appreciate her for that. So kids at Lars's work, just be like, Mama Terry, just don't say anything about it.
I told them, I was like, if you want to talk to me about anything on the show that has anything to do with that, wait till I clock out.
Yeah. Wait till I'm no longer in charge of you.
Yeah.
Okay, so what did we talk about after that? Well, okay.
We talked about our little adventure that we had together with you, Jenny and I.
Yes.
We went to the antique store, Vintage Treasures, which is fantastic.
Yes, we didn't
They've
get to
got lots
spend
of stuff.
We didn't get to spend too much time while we were there because we walked up and the guy was like, "Oh, they're gonna be closed in about 15 minutes," and I was like, "Sir, I gotta go try this store out." And we immediately right when we walked in the door, we were like, "We're gonna be quick." And I know that like in retail that really fucking sucks, but like we were honest about it, and we were checking out as the lights were getting closed off right at 5:00.
But what do they have to do? Count down a drawer? That's it.
Yeah, but you know, you want to go home. Getting off at 5:00 on a Wednesday, working at a retail place like that's pretty nice.
Yeah.
You know, I would want that too. 9 to 5, and well, I don't anybody send me any application or job offers for working in retail. I do not want that. But if I had to work in retail again, and I was promised 9 to 5, oh yeah, buddy, I'm gonna take that.
Yeah. I had to go in there because there is a local company, a local artiste who makes soaps and like deodorants and bath bombs, and I went online and found that they had some shaving foam or like soap, but they didn't have any there. So I ended up buying 2 Elvis records instead.
And I gaily walked through the store very quickly and got
The walk.
I got maybe a quick glance of anything that I was like, oh, I have to have that. So
That's a fantastic place.
and I have to go back. I mean, hours, I could see myself hours digging in that store because things were behind each other. You got to look underneath.
Oh yeah, you could be there a couple hours.
Yeah. So we're going to try and go back in a couple weeks. And then around this time of the conversation, there was
We talked about body
weird-
hair.
Oh, we did talk about body hair because because Lars's pitties are fucking hairy as shit. Oh my god.
The only thing
Christ.
Jaron is jealous of me about was my hair.
Yeah, and I'm just like, damn. But you know what? One time when Nicholas and I were on vacation, and I was comparing my lack. It's not that I don't have body hair. It's just I don't have like enough that I think in my head that I want. And so like we saw somebody who like had like what I would consider like the ideal amount of body hair that I would want on myself. And I looked at Nicholas and I said, it is so homophobic that I don't have body hair like that. And he goes, don't do that. And I was like, what? And he's like, I don't want to hear you talking about like how you find other men attractive. And I was like, but baby, I love you. I think you're so beautiful. I just want to look like that.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, but like, baby, I like the way that you are. And I'm like, yeah, but wouldn't you like me with some more fuzz on my back? No, I love you just the way that you are. Oh, okay, that's so cute.
We'll see how much I actually get, because like they say that what they've found with trans men, and it's not true for everybody, but everybody obviously is different with their genetics, and so like they usually will say if you take after your dad or your grandpa, then you can kind of gauge how much body hair you're gonna have. So my dad and both of my grandparents were not very hairy.
Yeah.
So
We'll see.
we'll see. And most of my hair is growing on my butt cheeks.
Yeah.
And then like in my groin area, it is absolutely uncomfortable because like I've had to like be I've had to be a lot more detailed when I wipe. And like this is a whole new like
The whole new
a
ballpark.
whole new ball game, man.
Oh my god.
I wish that my facial hair was growing a little bit more, but one of my peers at work said that well, I can say Foster because Foster is like a dedicated listener to us. What's up, Foster? He was like, man, your like facial hair is starting to like really be noticeable, and I was just like, oh, thank God.
And then when he comes in for haircuts, and he got like the little flyaways on like the corners of his jawline, and I'm like, I'm gonna shave those down so that your haircut looks.
I know I don't want it to be like
a certain way.
I don't want to look like a rat.
No, my god.
Oh, speaking of rats, the boys caught another rat outside.
Oh, I thought you were gonna talk about the beetle we saw outside yesterday.
Oh,
The rats.
my God.
They caught another rat.
Yeah.
Oh,
They
my-
killed it.
Okay.
Left it in the garden,
Great.
of course. It looked like a quick kill, and it looked pretty recent, so Cabbage kept going over to it and smelling it. I'm like, stop it.
Oh, just gross.
I said, Cabbage, stop it. But then I was like, good boy, Cabbage, though, good boy. Because I knew it was probably him, because Toad is fast, but not as fast as Cab.
Yeah.
Because Cabby's a little bit more trim. Toad is a little bit more boxy.
Oh
So chibi, so cute.
my god.
But, yeah.
Well, the
The
rats.
bug. Do you want to talk about the bug?
No, I don't want to talk about that fucking beetle. That was disgusting. It
It
was
loo-
just massive and it had big pinchers.
I took a video of it because I thought it was really cool. I haven't showed it to Jenny yet because I got home so late and she fed me and then I just crashed. So I haven't even had, I didn't even get a chance to really talk to her much.
Do you want to talk about the beetle? No, talks about the beetle. Anyway,
Anyway, sorry about that.
it kept crawling
We're not
towards
gonna-
me,
All
and
right.
Lars was taking his video, and I was like, "It's getting too close, and he was like, "I'm not going to touch it," and I was like, "I'm talking about me," and then I like took a container
Flings
that had been
it.
sitting out. I wouldn't fling it. I just like coaxed it off the deck.
It fell to it. It fell.
It fell to its back, and then it got off its back, and
Ew.
then it went back to work, just like a good girl.
Damn.
Damn, and that is not. I'm sorry. I want to clarify. I am not misogynistic in any sort of way. I am supportive of all people and their sexual advances and things that they want to do with their life. So I just wanted to go ahead.
Sex work's great.
Yeah. Yes, and I also didn't want to make any assumptions on like specifically like sex workers or just like anybody that's just like a sexual being. So that just kind of like flew out of my mouth in a way that I did not like, and I just want to go ahead and make a quick clarification. My voice may sound deep today, but that's only because I got jock itch this week, and I am just the manliest man because I am working out so much, and it's become like my entire like day-to-day life. And if anybody knows me, since this is the first summer this is the first summer this podcast is currently existing in, if anybody knows anything about me, the truest statement that you could say about me before the fact that I'm a homosexual is the fact that I get poison ivy every year.
Yep.
And I've been getting it every year since I was 8 years old. And the first year I got it on the inside of my groin, in between my thighs. And I got big chunky legs. And so they just rubbed, and I had like waddle around the whole summer while we try to medicate it and stuff. And I've been getting it every year since. And even thinking that moving into the city, I would never get poison ivy again, babies, I still fucking got it. So I'm hit with a double whammy. I got a fungal bacterial infection in my groin, and I've got poison ivy on my face, and it's in between my fingers. And we're supposed to be doing Pride this weekend, so if anybody saw me this past Saturday, and if you saw white flakes off my nose or off my forehead, or you saw that my left eye was inflamed and it looked like a red auburn smoky eye, I swear to God it's not intentional, and I am still beautiful on the inside.
Yes, you are.
Just my outsides are looking awful this weekend, so please, I hope you didn't say anything. And if you did say something, well,
You're a dick.
well, yes, and also like Nicholas and I were talking about it last night, and he was like, "Baby, nobody's going to say anything to you." And I said, "That's the thing. I am worried that people are going to talk about me and not up to me."
It's not even noticeable.
I know, but I feel like it is like the biggest. It's like a neon flag, a neon sign above my forehead. Poison ivy. Come look at it. And that's something I struggle with, vanity. So
Did you reach out to a doctor, or are you just medicating at home right now?
I'm doing creams and
Witchcraft and
no, I'm doing.
Is it helping?
I don't have time for witchcraft anymore. I have it's Caladril, so it's got that like drying stuff, and it's the clear one, so at least I can like be seen in public.
I've never seen the clear stuff before.
Oh yeah, totally worth the extra
cool.
$1. Yeah.
Cool. Sweet.
It's spreading. I think it's on my legs. That's why my
You
shorts look
might
like this.
have to go get a shot.
I don't want to. I don't want to, because that means that it's just worsening my immune system, because then that means next year I'm just that much more susceptible to getting it. I'm trying to get my immune system
if it gets
to build
any
up.
worse over the next
Oh,
week,
don't you worry. Don't you worry. I
I
cannot.
will kidnap you and throw you in Sue, and we'll go to the urgent care.
If poison ivy has ever been inside the webbing of anybody's fingers or toes, it is the worst feeling, especially when you
sorry.
work with your hands. It's okay. Especially when you work with your hands, it is the worst thing.
Well, especially
So-
like with Pride, you don't want to have to fucking worry about that. You want to enjoy yourself.
Right. I don't want to think about like my skin feeling a certain way.
Right.
Now my back of my head is itching. Anyway, okay. So, I'm trying to make sure we were hitting up all the things that we talked about yesterday. Taylor Swift might possibly be doing an Eras Tour second leg through the U.S. Lars said that I was going to need a GoFundMe, and that is true. That or another job.
Because it's
for
probably
6
going to get more
months.
expensive if she does another leg.
I don't know. I really hope that like it would be a hat tip off to be for her, and it would be an understood thing amongst the community that like, hey, this is for the people who didn't have a chance to go the first time. So like maybe refrain from like purchasing your tickets the second that they drop. So we'll see. It was rumored this week, and I got to make sure that people know about it because if it happens, I'm probably going to go.
Do you think that she is going to retire soon?
I'm worried that, and this is not like an actual real theory that's out there. This is just something that Nicholas brought up, and he goes, "What if after the end of the Eras tour she quits?" And I said, "Then I need to go see her before she quits because I don't want to wait 30, 40 years for her to come and be like, we're gonna do like a reunion tour or something." Like, no, I need to see it now.
I would love Mariana's Trench to take note. Because my favorite band has not released an album in 4 years.
Hey, you know what? Not everybody can write a song in 30 minutes like Mother, okay?
Listen, but this is Josh Ramsey, and he wrote "Call Me Maybe." All right. So like he's a great songwriter.
Oh my God, there were some like throwback high school, middle school song bangers at work today.
Really?
Yeah, I was like, oh, thank you so much, guys.
Hot 1079.
Oh man, that was the shit.
Yeah, it was. Yes, it was.
Did you ever go to their 18 and under parties?
No.
Oh my God.
I was always at country concerts.
Cute. Okay, so
yeah.
Actually, a couple weeks ago, Lars and I actually in this very same room learned that we were at a Alan Jackson.
Yeah, like at the same time.
At the same time, in the same Coliseum Theater.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Oh, I went and saw Alan Jackson in Fort Wayne." And I was like, "Wait, well, hold on. What year was that?" Because I was also there. And he told me about how he fell asleep, and I was like, "I did too."
So you would have been what, 5?
Very young.
Yeah, I would have been 8.
Oh, wait, hold on a second. There's only a year difference between us.
Oh, I thought there was a couple.
No.
Oh my God.
I was a year behind you in high school. You and I would have graduated the same year if the elementary school that I went to didn't hold me back a year and do kindergarten twice because they were worried that I was going to be socially awkward around older kids because everybody was a year older than I was when we would graduate. Hello, newsflash. I don't talk to anybody anymore. And even then, before, I used to talk to much older people. Like, I've dated much older people. So being around older people has never been an issue.
How strange.
I know.
So you would just would have been probably around 7.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, and I told you that I was falling asleep up in the rafters because I was the best. Not literally, but we had nosebleed sections tickets because it was expensive.
Right. Oh, sorry, I'm scratching myself in front of this man.
What was your first concert you ever attended?
George Jones.
Really?
I shook his hand.
Shut the fuck up.
He stopped in the middle of a guitar solo so that I could give him a drawing. So my dad picked me up over his shoulders and he got the crowd to like part ways for him, like he was Moses in the Red Sea. Yes. So that he could get me to the stage, and they helped me get onto stage. And,
no way!
yes, and I drew him a picture, and I held it out for him, and he stopped in the middle of his guitar solo to take the photo and shake my hand.
Jaron, do you not understand that George Jones is like
legend,
a huge legend in the country music art? Like, yes,
I know.
The Possum. That's his nickname because he looks like a fucking possum. Yes. But he's dead now. Unfortunately, passed
Big
away.
rip.
Yes.
Big rip. So,
oh my God.
Yeah, I probably drew him like a picture of a train or something.
Aww.
And was like, my name's Jaron. I like trains. Yeah, I ate a Lunchable that day. I have like...
You remember the whole last day?
The whole day. Like, my dad got home from work early, and he was like, Jaron, when you get home, like, we're going to nap, right? And I was like, mm-hmm. And I couldn't nap because I was too excited.
Why did they bring you? Because you felt like did you like his music?
Yeah.
When you were a kid?
Yeah, I grew up listening to like nothing but country.
What the fuck?
I know, and now I'm just serving cunt, honey.
Oh, that was good. Oh, no. It's funny that you say that because this is how my brain is wired. So bear with me. All right.
Bearing down.
Bear with me.
I am a bear, so I'm ready for this.
Jenny's ancestral family, like down the line, is the Clark family, right?
Right.
So George Rogers Clark was a general in the Revolutionary War. He was the Hannibal of the Midwest. So he was the guy that was orchestrating all the battles in the like where we are now. So like Illinois, Kentucky, Indiana, blah, blah, blah. So
the tip of the Bible Belt.
Yes, he was an awful, like he could not spell. But it was common to not be able to spell back then, unless you were like gentry and went to actually school and had tutors and like. Right. And he had very little training in spelling and like English.
Ooh, sorry, guys.
And if you go to Locust Grove, where he is buried and where he lived the rest of his life as a disabled man, it was very sad. Anyway, there is a museum connected to it, and he spelled country. Cuntry, and it's in big bold letters in this display. And every time I go to Locust Grove, I like make a point to go see it because it is so fucking outrageous.
Hey, you know what? Well, it was a different time back then. It was a different time back then.
Well, I mean, like he just didn't know how to spell. He was just sounding it out.
No, I know. That's that. You missed the point.
All right,
you missed the point.
Apparently, I missed the point on everything.
That was scary. Everything.
I was thinking about our conversation before we started recording.
Oh God. Anyway. So real quick, mental health. I'm much better than I was yesterday. Yes.
Same.
7, 8. Okay, cool. Maybe because I'm like slightly manic today.
Good.
But anyway,
That's a good number.
It is a good number. How are you feeling?
I'm at a 7.
I just know it doesn't last long. Oh. And I can tell you why I know that I am a slightly manic. Because oh, sorry for that throat thing. If that got put on the recorder. On the recorder. What am I? 4th grader?
What am I?
This is official recording equipment. Donna, my favorite client.
Yes.
She came in today.
Oh, okay. Good. How's she doing?
She's good. Her birthday is coming up in a couple days. Donna, I hope you have a happy 89th birthday. I love you so much.
She's so fucking old.
I know, but
that's so fucking cool.
She is so sharp. Okay.
Good.
She is so sharp. Every time I see her, not every time, that's absolutism. We we get into these moods of just being rotten with each other, okay?
Yeah.
But we play back and forth. It's so cute. And I've told her so many times, I'm like, you are the mother that I like would have wanted. And she's like, if I was your mother, I would not talk to you like this. And I was like, you're right. Okay.
Yeah, 'cause she's that generation.
Right. I was like, you're the grandmother that I would want.
Yeah.
So, nope. Oh, why do I keep doing it? We were laughing about something, and she got me going so good that I was sweating. Like, my body was sweating, and I was wearing this gray t-shirt, and you could like see the lines on my body of where like the sweat was pooling. And I looked at her and I said, oh my God, I'm sweating so much. I'm so hot. Look, I got like under boob sweat. It's in my chest, like the back of my head sweat. And she goes, I really needed to laugh like this. And I said, yeah, me too. And I said, I'm laughing so hard that like my thighs are like wet and I need to go check them in the bathroom. And I'm cutting her hair and she looks at, she stops and she spins her head and she goes, I can't believe you just said that. I was like, I know.
Oh
I can't believe I just said that.
So she would have been born in 1934.
Damn.
Jared, that's impressive.
Bro, I know.
1930, the Great Depression era.
Wow, she was born into the Great Depression, and she is currently living through America's greatest Isn't recession is the word?
I mean, yeah. Like I feel like we've been in a recession since 2008.
I know, but I saw, but yes, and I saw a TikTok that was like, this isn't. They're like, some people are like, this is actually a depression that nobody wants to talk about, and then other people are saying like, it's actually not like another Great Depression. It's something else. But I don't know if recession was the right word. It just it was a more impactful word. But I mean, she looks at me and she goes, well, I said I always wanted to make it to 89. And I was like, and then we're going to make it to 90 and 91 and 92. Because like, I told her, I said, remember, you're supposed to outlive me. And she goes, I don't want to outlive anybody anymore. And I said, no.
No, when you're born in 1930 fucking 4. like she has seen some shit.
I know. Here's the thing. Even though I'm going to get on a quick soapbox. We know that racism is taught. Okay. It's not biologically designed in us to be like that. Okay.
Correct.
This woman, when I met her 5 years ago, she would use racially charged derogatory remarks, not realizing that they were harmful. And that I was like, we don't use those words anymore.
Right.
If I can get her to go from, and she wasn't saying like the worst of the worst. Okay. I'll just let people think what they want to think. She wasn't saying the worst of the worst, but she would say something. I'm like, we don't say that anymore. And she has completely changed her vocabulary and her acceptance of people of color, anybody who's not white, and specifically the queer community at 89 years old. If that woman can correct herself and make sure that she's being respectful, and she'll tell you, she's I'm a rotten little old lady, but for her to be respectful like that, if she can do it, anybody can do it. And she didn't grow up in a racist state. She grew up in Minnesota, and she was like, words like that were said, and I was like, yeah, well, I'm here to tell you now that we don't say those anymore.
Jenny's grandmother Betty is around the same age, and she is the same way when it comes to the LGBTQ community, QIA community. And she has learned a lot with me being in her life. And again, like when she was told that I was transgender, like it took some time, but I mean, it wasn't anywhere near what I have to do with a fucking boomer.
Yeah.
Not boomer. Gen X. X. Sorry.
Jesus. Okay.
Yes, but like it's amazing. It just goes to show like how much has just changed with how we regard each other as a human.
Right. They
have seen things that my parents have not seen. So I mean their outlook on the world is different.
Right.
Anyway,
so what are we talking about today, Lawrence? Today was Lawrence's choice of topic of discussion.
Spooky.
He wanted spooky.
Weird, paranormal, creepy shit.
Because obviously, like, we just love that shit, but also, like, a lot of people are putting out their Halloween stuff, and so it's like, Christmas in July? No, Henny. Halloween in July.
Yes.
Spooky season in July.
Yes.
So Lars is going to be talking about some spooky stuff.
Spooky dookie.
Ooh, spooky dookie? Spooky dookie when you go to the bathroom and you don't
know what's coming.
Yeah. Oh my God. That was me this morning. I was wearing those cute ass shorts that you saw me in yesterday.
Yeah.
And you know, like how it is in the morning when it's like, oh, like I had a couple hits of the cigarette, had a couple sips of that coffee. It's coming right now. And then like, thank goodness I did not destroy those pants, but like,
well,
poor Nicholas's shorts. It would have been out in the dumpster. Hey, honey, where are the shorts? Oh, I have no idea. I wasn't the last gaslight them. I wasn't the last one to wear them. You wore them the other night. I'm kidding, you guys. I would never. I love that man so much. Anyway, spooky.
I love him because you love him.
Well, I appreciate.
But I do really value him. Anyway, I think that he's pretty cool.
I think so too.
He's very talented.
Can I ask you a question that seems kind of vain?
Yeah.
Do I seem happier with Nicholas than I did with you know who?
Yes.
Okay. Even though with all of the stuff that I've been working on in my head, do I externally look and seem happier?
Yes.
Okay. I don't need to, comparison is an issue that I have, and I don't want to necessarily compare those two specific times of my life or the way that I seemed with those two people. It's just more so of like from an outsider's point looking in. For as long as I've known you, it's always been Nicholas and the other one.
Mm-hmm. Your whole like aura has been lighter, and your face has been more soft. You look relaxed and like safe and
Okay.
calm.
Cool. All right. Anyway.
That's what I get.
Sorry, guys. Anyway, what are we doing today, Lawrence?
We are going to talk about the Warrens Occult Museum in Monroe, Connecticut. Ooh, Ed and Lorraine Warren.
Also, real quick, we are re-recording this, so if reactions seem a little dramatic and a little extra, it's because I am reenacting my reactions. Please continue.
So you and I know,
Yes.
and spooky, dooky, paranormal lovers out there should know of Ed and Lorraine Warren. They were a married couple who were at the peak of their success, and like their well-known like cases took place in the 1970s.
Mm-hmm.
So they were demonologists. Ed was more on the side of the religious aspect of like controlling like demons and being able to recite like exorcisms and do more of like the ritualistic religious things on the end. And then Lorraine was more like a clairvoyant who could contact people who have passed on, or was really sensitive to different energies and auras around her, so she could really like tap into that and kind of help. And so like when they were together, they were just kind of like a bombshell of like just like so much like powerful psychic medium, etc.
Wow, that's great.
Like I said yesterday when we were recording the first time,
right?
You either love them or you hate them, because there is kind of a split like opinion about them. Some people believe that they were like totally legit, that the things that they experienced was real. And some of us, or some people, believe that they were really in it for the money and just kind of like milking like that I don't know,
train.
like that gravy train, and like taking things out of context, making things out to be more than what they were.
Yes. And I did see something today. I want to add this really quick as a disclaimer. I was also, because I knew what we were doing today because we did this yesterday, I tried to do a little like side research, maybe to see if I could add anything about his topic of Ed and Lorraine that I could add on. But I did see like several links to some articles stating that like there were like sexual predatory allegations on like Ed,
really,
and like a 15-year-old girl.
Wow.
And that like this affair went on for like 40 years. So
oh my God.
I don't want to give other people like more reasons to like not enjoy these people. And again, like because of like things that I don't want to be reading about, but then again, like it's important to be informed. So anyway, but if anybody does look that up and like looks their names up and sees these articles and think like, why are you guys talking about somebody who like has had these allegations? I didn't want us to like skip over that if either one of us didn't like, I didn't want to pretend like I didn't like know of this, because I didn't hear about that or even see these articles being posted on the internet until today. So, like we're not withholding information, that like knowledge. Yeah. And again, like I don't know if any of those things are true because I did not read them, but because that's what was all on Google for that first page. And I was like, okay, you know what? I'm going to let Lars just do the talking today. So
I had no idea that there was allegations against Ed. I feel like every single man in the media has allegations against him.
Yeah.
So like, and which is,
what do they all have in common?
You want me to say it?
No, I want the people to think about it for a second. And let them do it themselves.
For me, Ed and Lorraine, I find them very fascinating. I don't really,
and I do as well.
I don't really believe one way or the other. I'm kind of neutral, because like I feel like they did have a gift. Was everything that they claimed really happen? I don't know.
Right.
We'll never really know.
Were the movies exaggerated?
The movies were for sure exaggerated.
Right, because you got to sell a story, right?
Yeah. Do I think that previous conversations weave into the conversation of did they experience something? And if they did, I don't have the right to say
Yeah.
no, because a lot of these cases involve families, and these families are coming to them with needing support and help.
Yeah.
Because going into more of the background with Ed and Lorraine, like they started out helping families, and it was all free.
Right. So
It
they
was
weren't
all
doing it for money.
Yeah, it was all pro bono, and because they're really passionate about it.
I love that word, pro bono.
Me too.
I'm also pro boner. So.
I'm pro boner as well.
Your face. Like, yeah, say that.
Yeah, I am. Yes, I am, sir. So again, regardless of what I think, I'm neutral. I find the things that like they've done fascinating, and I feel like there is some truth to every case that they've handled, and there is truth to their story.
And their experiences are true to them.
Yes. The museum, I wanted to focus on the museum because it is super fascinating, because a lot of all of the things that were haunted or possessed or had some sort of entity in them or attracted an entity is in this museum of theirs.
Yes.
And it is literally across like the yard in front of their house. So
it's not in their house.
It's not in their house, so it's actually separate from their home.
Okay, because I think in one of the movies it was portrayed that like their collection was inside their house.
Yeah. I don't think that it's open to the public right now.
Okay.
But if you are able to go, and if you're able to connect with, so Tony Serpa is their son-in-law, and he is now the owner of the museum, and he also owns their home now.
Okay.
So he's the one that is in charge of making arrangements for people to actually come and see these haunted items. It's not really open to the public anymore. Mm-hmm. There was a really great article that I pulled from Connecticut, and it kind of talks through like what that process looks like and like what is featured in this museum and a little bit of the history around it. And it is a little wild. Okay. So when you first get to the museum, you are required to bless yourself with holy water.
And this would be the first time that I would actually start believing in holy water.
Right? Yes. Serpa, Tony, he asks all guests to do it regardless of religious beliefs, because what is inside this museum is to be true of cases that are very like deadly and dangerous.
Right. Because the items themselves are not haunted like there's a spirit inside them. It's just there is something that lingers around these items and is in control of them and manipulates them. And that can cause some physical harm and most likely some psychological harm to anybody that comes into contact with them. So, I mean, that's nice for somebody to be like, if you don't want to do this, then you're not coming in.
The Warrens were devout Catholics, so they believed that, of course, holy water, crosses, Catholic prayers, and exorcisms were the means with which to ward off evil. So when you go into this museum, there's a lot of crucifix, signage of like prayers, just to keep everything at bay and collected. The museum contains a mix of items that are either based on haunts and objects that have a reputation of being cursed, demonic, or haunted. To this day, Tony said this museum is still taking items in, with its most recent acquisition being a sword that was given to the museum last year. It is inscribed with a demonic-looking creature on the hilt, and the museum believes that the sword was involved in satanic rituals. So they're still getting things that have been obtained from the NESPR, which is NESPR, which stands for the New England Society for Psychic Research, and that was created by Ed and Lorraine.
Okay.
So one of the items, of course, that is super popular that people love to see and visit, which I don't know why.
But yeah, yesterday this man goes, "Would you go?" And I said no, and he goes, "I might. I'll guess I go without you." Okay, bye.
I would go because I feel confident in my susceptibleness of that dark stuff. I would just make sure that I did what I needed to do and keep my mind closed to it.
Yeah. And I said I would probably walk out of there and some natural, like just a thing would happen to me within the 24 hours after not being there anymore. And I would automatically be like, there's a demon following me. My life is over. So it is best that I stay the fuck away from it.
I've been to conventions where they've had supposedly like haunted items.
Yeah.
I remember one of them vividly being Tyler was with me, and it was a box that was used in an exorcism, and it had like still had the candles that were used in it.
Mm-hmm.
It still had like the holy water bottle. It had the rosary, and Tyler like wanted to touch it, and I said, "Don't fucking touch it. Just look at it." So Annabelle is sitting in a glass case and far in a corner, and she is encompassed in a box that was made by Ed.
Okay.
And it has a sign that says "Positively do not open."
Mm-hmm.
They have actually made another box to go over that box just to maintain Ed's work, just making sure that it stays nice and put together. So
and untouched.
Yes, untouched. Annabelle is actually a Raggedy Ann doll, so it's not what we see in Annabelle the movies in the Conjure universe.
No.
It's just a regular old Raggedy Ann doll. So every time I go into an antique store and I see Raggedy Ann doll, I'm like, forget it.
That's Annabelle.
Not even looking at
there.
it.
Gotta go.
Yep. It is one of the most famous cases of Ed Lorraine. She is not menacing looking at all. She is much larger in person than most Raggedy Ann dolls. So she's actually really tall. Mm-hmm. Most Raggedy Ann dolls you see are just kind of small, but she's pretty good. She's 3 feet tall.
It's like the original My Size Barbie doll.
Ew.
My sister had one. I loved that thing. I'm like, I want a My Size Ken doll.
More about Annabelle. Just a quick background about her, because I feel like it goes really well with the museum, because it's like the biggest thing that they have. The doll was given to as a gift to the Hartford nurse in 1970, and once she brought it home, her and her roommates reported unexplained behavior. So they said that it moved on its own. It attacked one of them, and the Warrens were called in to investigate and claim that the doll was being manipulated by the spirit of an outside entity. So they did an exorcism at the apartment, and they took it home and they put it in their museum. Or at that point, it was just basically a shed. Mm-hmm. Like they just wanted it out of that home.
Yeah.
They wanted to contain all of these things. So they just started it, and the museum came later. But yeah, they took it off their hands.
Could you imagine all those like entities just hanging out in one room being like,
talking to each other?
Yeah. Like, so.
Like Annabelle's just like, she takes a big hit off a cigarette. She's like,
oh my God.
What'd you in for?
I was just thinking more so of like, okay, so how are we going to unionize and use our evil against them?
God, that is so actually fucking terrifying.
And get out of here and do some actual harm. Anyway,
till this day, of course, the doll remains in the care of the museum, where it is in a locked case. During a visit to the museum, the door was in fact opened one time. So Daniel Riviera, the senior lead investigator of Nesper, said that he pulled a new box for Annabelle that is better suited for moving the doll around. He said the reason why I built the case was because the museum was closed, and we wanted to keep educating the public about these items that Ed and Lorraine collected. I built this case to represent Ed's original case. Riviera is the only one that is allowed to touch this doll. Mm-hmm. So when he does take it out, he wears these like infused holy water white gloves. Uh-huh. Okay. He says the Lord's Prayer and the St. Michael's Prayer before he takes this doll out of the case. I don't know why you would want to take it out of the case.
He said, "Hello, Christ." I'm about to sin
it's
again.
Me.
I said, "I love you to that man, but I'm not feeling him."
They're not entirely sure if she is still possessed. She is just there, rotting like the bitch she is.
Oh my God. She's fabric. She'll never rot.
She won't. She'll just sit there.
She's probably made of plastic. She'll be here forever.
She's probably got stuffing in her. She probably.
When the world blows up, do you think that all the haunted do you think all the haunted items will like float out into space and go haunt other planets? Like when people talk about like the world blowing up and they're like, all those microplastics will just be out into the space.
That's actually a really deep thought, and I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Because yes, probably.
Get deep. The aliens would be like, we don't know what the fuck to do with this.
I'm actually very, very surprised to hear that this museum is even actually still around. Mm-hmm. I feel like there is enough people that would be entirely freaked out or super religious, like people believing that it needs to be destroyed.
Yeah.
There is a proper way to dispose of items that are haunted. Mm-hmm. You can't just throw them away.
No.
You can't just bury them. There has to be a certain process in getting rid of them, because depending on what is the entity that's attached to them.
Right. It's just gonna follow you.
Like a Luigi board.
You are done. You're cut off.
A Ouija board, you can't just throw it away. You have to burn it.
Right. And don't fuck with Ouija boards.
Just don't fucking take it.
No.
One other item in the museum that I wanted to...
in the museum I want to talk about.
I am literally going to smack.
Great.
I'm sorry.
No, fucking come at me. Donna smacked me today.
Oh no. One other item in the museum that I wanted to talk through is a creepy ass doll, or another doll. It's like a kind of like a doll. It is a
figurine of sorts.
A figurine of sorts, and it really freaked me out when I saw it. It looks like a paper mache craft that some child made. It has feathers on it. It's called the Shadow Doll. And it's one of the first haunted items that is visible in the museum when you first walk in. Uh-huh. It has bird feathers and a genuine human tooth. It is made specifically for harm and is used as an object at the center of curses. Spira Sotoni said that a person would need to take a picture of the doll, write a curse on the back of the photo, and then send it to whoever the curse is aimed for. The person who receives the picture with this curse invites the curse into their lives. It is additionally said that the doll could appear in people's dreams. While there's not much known about the doll, it is said to initially be purchased in an antique store under the assumption that it was simply an antique, and it really wasn't.
Right.
So please be careful when you're in an antique shop.
Oh, yes. Sage your shit when you bring it home. And
pray over it, whatever you want to do, however you're feeling. And also bring a clairvoyant with you to an antique store. I said yesterday
1-800-CALL clairvoyant
that when I go to antique stores, I am so like emotionally drained, and I think that there's something to be said about that.
Yeah,
but yeah, those are just some insight on some spooky Ed and Lorraine tales with their weird ass museum that I am so intrigued by and would definitely go if anybody wanted to take me.
If anybody wants to go with Lawrence,
because Jaron won't come with me.
No,
that's fine.
Nope, I'll be too busy saving my GoFundMe account money for Taylor Swift tickets. Oh, also, if anybody that's in my life like hears this episode, like I'm willing to take like cash donations.
Taylor, if you can hear us.
Taylor, if you can hear us,
just give Jaron just a couple, just two. That's all we want.
I've literally like already started to like fantasize about like reaching out to Taylor's team and be like, my fiance and I are coming, and it would just be like so amazing if we could like set up a way to like get married on stage and have Taylor marry us, and just
God, can you imagine
anything? Just my thing about like people who have made big changes in my life is I feel this need to like let them know like I exist today in this world because you did something that helped me keep going. And yeah. I want you to know that like I think that is fucking amazing, and thank you so much for that. And I just would love to tell her that. That's all I want to tell her. And I want her to look at me in the eyes and say, well, thank you so much. That was so kind of you. All the other stuff that she calls other people.
They're mine.
Tell me.
I just don't. If you were to meet her, I hope that she would be on her best behavior, because we don't know how she really is.
I don't care how she really is.
That's fine, but I mean, like, do we really know? But I have met her though.
Yes. But
that was when she was Taylor Swift, and Love Story was just coming out on the radio.
Yeah.
So that was a long ass time ago.
Long time ago.
She was nice to me, but she didn't have all that fame in her head yet. So
I don't look at her like a celebrity. I just look at her like a person.
She is a person, well, but she's a celebrity.
Right, but I don't look at her like I look at Britney Spears, where I'm like, oh my God, the whole world knows you. I look at Taylor Swift as in like, oh my God, I know you. It feels more personable.
And that is definitely her mission, and so she's achieved it.
Yeah. Anyway, this isn't a Taylor Swift fandom podcast, but like we're going to talk about it every episode. I'm just waiting for the day where Lars looks at me and goes, how often do you listen to Taylor Swift, so I can tell him my answer?
How often do you listen to Taylor Swift?
Every day.
I'm sure.
Every day.
I'm sure you do.
There's a song for every feeling.
Yeah. That's great. I'm glad that you're passionate about her. Like that. If that's what brings you joy, then that's great.
I know, but I need more things besides Taylor Swift to bring me joy.
You know what brings me joy? Spooky stuff like that.
Spooky
that
stuff
I just
like
shared
that.
with you.
Aww. Ooh, spooky skeleton.
I really think that because I was so hidden from that stuff because my parents would never let me watch anything that was scary. We couldn't be witches or goblins or warlocks for Halloween because
Anything
it was
unorthodox.
yeah, anything unorthodox. And so like when I was finally able to, when I moved out of the house and was being like doing my own thing and becoming my own person, it just exploded.
Yeah.
Like all of that was just like
Yeah. I had always grown up with scary stuff because I watched the original Exorcist with Linda Blair with my dad at like the ripe age of 8 years old. And I was unable to sleep with the lights on for several years.
That movie should not have been shown to you at 8 years old.
Well, I wanted to watch it. It's not that my dad was like, "Hey, do you want to see this?" Like,
did he watch it before he showed it to you?
Yeah, he went.
That's even more fucked up.
He saw it in theaters,
and he was just like, "Okay, well, let me have my boy sit down and watch this young girl stick a crucifix in her vagina."
I didn't make it very far.
Sorry, I'm getting heated because that is not right.
Oh my god, are the insides of your thighs wet?
No,
you said you were getting heated.
Shut up.
Are you sweating?
I'm sorry. That scene even for me bothers me as an adult.
Well, yes, I understand that. And it also does when I didn't get very far because as soon as she spun her head around in the bed and said, "Get back, the girl's mine," I ran up the stairs and that was it. Oh my god, speaking of scaring people to death.
Yeah.
I got my sister to watch The Ring. That
movie is fucking scary.
When she was very little. So I was probably fucked up. You want to talk about people being fucked up? This was back in the day. There was this thing called a landline. And
right.
If you had a landline was a phone that was connected to a wire in your house in the wall, and you could have wireless, which is the closest thing you could get to a cell phone without a blue light screen and a computer. You could call your house number with the landline, hang up and put it on the receiver, and then the entire house would ring. So you could have somebody pick up the phone and then you could pick it up after it stopped ringing and you could be like, "Hey, blah, 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 blah."
7 days.
I gave my sister the phone and I said, "Hey, go outside," because we had a pond at this house. We were going to go swimming. And I said, "Hey, take the phone and go outside. Mom and I are going to get some stuff and answer if anybody calls because, it may be important."
You're such a shit.
So my mom, I took the other landline and I'm running into the guest bathroom and she goes, "Jaren, what are you doing?" And I said, "Nothing, Mom." And I shut the door and I called and she answered. And then I went, "You're going to die in 7 days." And then I hung up, and then I walked out of the bathroom, and then there she comes running with her.
Oh my
with
god!
The phone in the air. I'm gonna die in 7 days, and I'm gonna die, and she's gonna come for me.
Oh my god!
I got my ass whooped.
I bet you did.
I sure fucking did. It was the first week of summer. I was grounded from TV, Game Boy, hanging out with anybody. I was only allowed to be at home I was only allowed to be at home and wherever my mother went the entire summer.
Jenny, to this day, cannot watch that movie. She can't even see clips of it. She hears the music in her head when she gets spooked. It scarred her.
Yeah, I believe it.
Yeah, it scarred her for life.
It was terrifying.
When it came out when we were it was scary. The imagery was really intense.
TV tubes or TVs that have a reflection glass. Okay, so non-plasma, non-LED. With TVs with glass, when they're turned off, they still freak me the fuck out because I can see my reflection and I'm like, "Oh, I'm right back in that movie."
Yeah,
here she's gonna come.
Any well, like if I see a well, I'm like, Samara.
Oh,
Samara's gonna come out of that.
I don't think that. I think more so of like, what's down there?
Samara.
Samara's
fucking down there.
Samara's down there in the hole.
Oh.
Yeah. So, anyway, that was, this is our little spooky season in July episode, you guys. I kind of hope you kind of like it a little bit. And I kind of hope you kind of like it a lot, if you know what I'm saying. Oh, baby.
And if you are interested in the museum, there's plenty of places to look at photos. We can even post a couple if Jaren is up for it. Like, is it too spooky for you?
No, I'm not. I'm just like, yes, let me go ahead and just do one more thing. I don't even know how much of this episode's going to get edited, so I hope that you guys enjoyed it because Fridays is normally when I would do editing, and since we're recording on Friday, I don't know what. We got Pride. I'm going to take a day off. It takes up a lot of time, so maybe it's raw, maybe it's uncut. Ooh,
it's raw and uncut.
Ooh, like my cold brew. Shake my titties. Anyway, guys, we love you so much. Thank you so much for hanging out with us this week. We really appreciate it.
We love you. Please be safe if you go to Pride.
Please be safe if you go to Pride. Just please be safe in general. Fuck the system, fuck the man, save the planet. And anyway, we love you so much. But yeah, we'll see you next Monday, and this is us signing out.
Bye.